Congress is meeting. John Boehner is going to get elected Speaker of the House any minute now. As much as I would love it to be Louis Gohmert, it ain't going to be. Oh, would I love it to be Louis Gohmert. I mean, for a bunch of good reasons. The comedy value being at the top of the list. And Mitch McConnell has, basically come out and said that his first order of business over in the Senate is going to be reimbursing the Koch brothers for all the money they poured into Kentucky and dark money, brilliant money, whatever, and all the ways that they've helped the Republican Party by making sure that the millions of acres of tar sands oil that they own up in Canada will be able to get to the refineries that they own down on the Gulf Coast so that it can be refined. You and I can get the poison, and they can export the gasoline and diesel fuel to China and make money on it. This seems crazy to me. Austin Petersen is on the line. He's the editor of the Libertarian Republic, thelibertarianrepublic.com. And Austin, maybe you can make some sense for me out of this. Why should we be excited about a Canadian company, TransCanada, shipping very, very toxic and hard to refine oil all the way across the United States down to the Gulf Coast, so that we can refine it and all the poisons from it stay right here in the United States, and the refined products, the gasoline and diesel fuel and other high fractions and whatnot, are all exported. I mean, TransCanada on their website says this is how it's going to work. In fact, they predict that because taking the pipeline all the way down to the Gulf Coast will stop the refining process or reduce the amount of tar sands oil that's available to the refineries in the Midwest, that in the Midwestern United States, the price of gas will go up probably 15 cents a gallon as a result of the completion of the Keystone XL pipeline. I don't get it. Why would anybody support this unless they're a shill who's paid for by the Koch brothers?
Happy New Year, Tom, before you flame me alive.
Thank you.
Well, of course, I wish I was a shill for the Koch brothers. I wish the Koch brothers would pay me. Those are two of my big ideological heroes, mostly because of their liberal stances on the war on drugs and pro-gay marriage stances and things. But we can talk about their economics. And the reason why I would support the Keystone XL pipeline, even if prices perhaps went up 15 cents a gallon, is because it's actually safer than the current methods that we're using, where we're using trucks and railroads. So pipelines have actually spilled a lot less than trucks or railroads per ton of oil transported. So if we're going to have this sick, nasty, disgusting, evil poison that you call it, then it's better that we transport it by the pipeline than by transporting it by truck.
So wait a second. Wait a second here. So your logic is that even though there's no value to the United States in this whatsoever, we get none of this oil, and nobody's disputing that. Everybody's, that's fairly transparent. There's no value to us at all. We are going to get poisoned by it. Mm-hmm. That the reason why we should do the pipeline is because right now we're being poisoned by rail cars, and we've got an aging rail infrastructure, and they're blowing up and leaking and things, and that's a horrible thing. So instead we should do a pipeline. Why don't we just say we're not going to be the third world dumping ground for the poisons of the fossil fuel industry in Canada? Let Canada build their own damn refineries and ship their own gasoline and diesel fuel to China.
Well, I mean, they're going to do that.
Why do we have to be the dumping ground, Austin?
Well, they're going to do that anyway. You see, if we don't build the pipeline, they're going to ship that oil to China by diverting the pipeline across Canada.
Right.
And yeah, if
they've got a plan to do it. Why don't we just say, great, you guys go for it?
Yeah, but I disagree with your point that we're not going to see the benefit from any of the oil from that, because that's not yet been determined as to whether or not that oil will be diverted, all of it, to China. Yes, some of it will be, but that's still
TransCanada has been saying from the very beginning this is for export.
Yes, they have been saying that, but there are a lot of American oil firms that are competing, that are bidding for this oil, so there is a chance that we could get some benefit from it. But if we did, Tom, wouldn't you like to see? And maybe you said years ago when we invaded Iraq that Bush did this for oil, no more blood for oil. As an anti-war libertarian, Tom, I am very concerned about our policy in the Middle East, because the American military is being used to prop up regimes in the Middle East, dangerous regimes that are anti-liberal, anti-women.
Austin, do you know what the number one...
The military is enforcing that, Tom, and the reason why we have big government overseas kicking down people's doors, killing brown people, is because big corporations want to use our military to protect those oil pipelines overseas. Let's stop that.
Nice try, Austin, but do you know what the number one export from the United States was for the last 2 years in a row? The number one product that we exported?
Democracy.
No, it was gasoline. Gasoline and diesel fuel. Actually, it was diesel fuel mostly, and then gasoline was second. That's our refineries in the Gulf Coast are running full tilt boogie continuously, and not just the Gulf Coast. There are West Coast and East Coast refineries, all for export. All of this oil that's coming in from Canada is for export.
Well, that's okay too. I mean, we can make money by having the oil pumped through our country, and we can have jobs as we export it. What's wrong with exporting?
Well, what's wrong with it is, A, it's helping to destroy the planet. B, it's poisoning us. We get to keep the poisons. And C, if you want the United States to be energy independent, if you're concerned about Middle Eastern oil, then take the hundreds of billions of dollars in subsidies that we're giving the oil industry and that we're proposing to give to TransCanada right now and put it into solar and wind.
It's so strange, the modern liberals today, they're such hardcore socialists, and they're also such hardcore nationalists. So what do you call a national socialist in German?
That's...
Yeah, it makes you think. It makes you wonder.
No, it doesn't make me think at all. I'm trying to figure out how to say, Austin, that's the most stupid question I've ever heard.
Yeah, no, it's not. Because
in fact, I was grasping for words to figure out a way to say that's the most stupid question I've ever heard.
Oh, really? Really? You don't like
the
that?
Nazis were obviously nationalists, and they were not socialists.
Oh, yes, they were. They were hardcore socialists. They believed in the collective over the individual. They believed in the state, the government as supreme, just like yourself. You are an economic nationalist. You're an economic socialist.
Somehow you are attempting to convert a conversation about the Keystone Pipeline into a revisiting of the history of Nazi Germany. It's not going to work, Austin. Sorry, the Nazis are gone. They're dead. At least the old ones.
Do you not ascribe to the same belief in the state, the government, over the individual?
Austin, are you not suggesting that is not Austin?
You're terrified. Sig Heil, Tom. Sig Heil. Yeah, you know that's what this leads to. Economic.
What you are suggesting here, Austin, is that we should let TransCanada, we should let a corporation and the Koch brothers with their oil up there and their refineries down here and all these other things, we should let them be deciding policy for the United States rather than we, the people, deciding policy. Now, if you want to call me a nationalist or even a Nazi for saying that I believe that my nation should be making decisions in the best interest of my nation, then fine. Call me whatever you want. But I am on the record here as, and I think that your internationalist view that we should have no boundaries, this whole libertarian thing of, absolute free trade, no boundaries, anybody can move anywhere, is crazy. It has never worked anywhere.
Wow. Well, at least you admit it, Tom. A hardcore nationalist, a hardcore socialist. I mean, it doesn't really get more Nazi than that, buddy. I mean, the fact
the Nazis were a death cult, Austin. You are dissing. No, stop for a second. Stop. You are trashing the memory of the people who were killed by the Nazis.
The
Nazis were a death cult. They had nothing to do.
Anytime, Tom. I got you good today.
All right, Austin Petersen, thelibertarianrepublic.com. Thanks, Austin. We'll be back.
This is the Thom Hartmann Program.
Okay, am I a Nazi? Really? What do you think? We'll be back.